All right, good evening, fans. Commission Ace Coach 704, the PEL Primetime Elite League, getting really close to getting started here. We are about to embark on week one of Madden 19, and I am so excited and glad to get another Madden season started off with you guys. Everyone's been pretty awesome so far. It would just be great if we found a Jets owner. And I had two more messages today on PSN of people interested. I've sent some messages out to see if they're the right fit. I made a statement the other day in the chat that I felt like we had some other guys interested too, and we just haven't found the right fit. Whether they have never been in a sim league before, they didn't have group me, they don't know how to stream. There's some guys that are willing, but I'm not sure if they really understand how involved we are with our rules and everything. So I'd rather get a veteran in here that's been in sim leagues before, kind of knows the deal. That's really why I like referrals, and I like people that have been in the league before, that left on good terms. Um, Curious case with Trey. Trey was down to play, and then all of a sudden he got ghosted. I don't know what's going on with him. But if he were to pop up, of course, I'd offer him the Jets, and I'm sure he would just take them and, play like he always has. So hopefully everything's okay with him. But anyways, everyone else has joined except for the Bears. Of course, we're on vacation. The Patriots are on vacation. He'll be in Friday. I've got a fill-in PSN on the Bears account. Patriots haven't gotten the game yet, excuse me. And of course the Jets are open. So those are our three CPU teams right now. So if you play them in week one, congrats to you. You get a victory unless we get a Jets owner. All right, so on today's PEO live show, we're going to go over four things in particular. We're going to analyze four trades, I believe, that have happened so far. Kind of surprised at the low number, but I know some people are still trying to get their roster situated and evaluating the new XP system and how that's going to figure, who's going to be important on their team. So I expect the trade number to pick up a little bit as we advance into the season and people start seeing how their team plays and what they really need. We'll go over the PEL stories that have already been posted on Daddy Leagues, 5 of those. We'll review those. We'll take a look at the players that have already been put on the trade block. Not that many, but we'll analyze them anyways. And then at the end, we'll get a week one preview, and I'll give you my brief thoughts on the week one games and see. I don't know if I'll do predictions yet because I don't know enough about everybody. So I'll just give some brief thoughts on those games. All right, so let's jump in to our trade analysis here. So we've got a trade with the Bucks and the Browns here, and I thought that was pretty interesting. On the screen, you got the main people involved. What you don't see is Tyrod Taylor going from the Browns to the Buccaneers, but you got the Browns giving up Jarvis Landry, Michael Kendricks, and Tyrod Taylor, and then the Bucks giving up Chris Godwin, Vita Vea, and Quan Alexander. Once I looked at the ratings in this trade, I thought it was a very fair trade across the board. Just looking at it real quick, player by player. Of course, I had Tyrod Taylor last year in Buffalo, and I was very frustrated with him. He would miss some easy throws when, there were critical moments, and that's why I got rid of him pretty quickly. The Bucks owner said he got him to push Jameis, so they're about the same rating. It's just a matter of how you want to play. They each have different strengths, so that'll be interesting to see. Jarvis Landry, of course, is a very good receiver. Pairing him with Mike Evans is a tough combo to deal with, but what I'm banking on is the inaccuracy of those two quarterbacks in Tampa that will help out a little bit as far as going against them. And then you've got Michael Kendricks going to the Bucks. Of course, Michael Kendricks for years has been one of the favorite linebackers because of his speed. I know user linebackers are, or excuse me, user linebacker players really enjoy using Michael Kendricks. So Bucks is a D-line user, but you'll still have to contend with that speed against a CPU player too. All right, so let's look at what Browns got. Chris Godwin is a pretty good receiver after looking at his ratings. I think that's a good replacement for Landry. Of course, you get a drop off, but it's not that significant. Vita Vea, I think, is a sneaky good part to this deal. I was talking to Blake in the chat, and Blake didn't even know who he was. But Vita Vea is a 79 overall D tackle with 97 strength, who's a rookie. And that's very valuable. You don't see 97 strength that often. I always used to say, if you got a blue goose, you just hold on to it. And a blue goose is something that's rare. And 97 strength is pretty rare. So I think the Browns got a nice piece in that part of the deal. And then Quan Alexander, not rated as high as he used to be, but he's still a pretty good linebacker. So I think he's younger than Kendricks. So the Browns get a little younger at that spot by giving up Kendricks but getting Alexander back. So it was a good deal for both sides. Don't really have anything negative to say. All right, so let's take a look at the Panthers Vikings deal, and I can give you some really good insight on this one, of course. So I'll tell you what I gave up first. I gave up a 6th-round pick in the upcoming draft, Curtis Samuel and DJ Moore, both receivers. Samuel, 95 speed, 93 acceleration, and of course DJ Moore, the rookie, 92 speed, 92 acceleration. They're both young guys. I think Samuel's 22, DJ Moore is 21. And the 6th-round pick was just a kicker pretty much because for me, I'm not going to be focusing as much on the draft because I can't make my picks. I just have to let CPU pick my guys. Um, Giving those guys up hurt, but what I got back was something that'll really help my team not only for this season but for seasons going forward, and that's why we made the deal. Samuel, of course, is a real good speed guy with some catching ability, and DJ Moore, just playing through my test franchise, he grows really well with star development, and he fit my scheme in Carolina. I don't know if he'll fit in Minnesota or not, but yeah, he's a good get. And Samuel's pretty much stayed where he was as far as development, but he's with his 95 speed, he shows his value there. But getting back, we got back center Pat Elflein, who I moved to left guard because that really increased his rating, and we had a hole there that we really needed to fill. Young guy, 24 years old, still 3 years on his rookie deal, so he can grow with us, and he'll be a pretty good left guard there once he continues to grow. We got a pretty young tight end, David Morgan. He has 83 run block, and we really needed a run blocking tight end. I have two pretty good catchers in Olsen and Ian Thomas, so Morgan really fits well as that blocking tight end to balance that out. And then we got Stephon Diggs. Of course, everybody knows who he is, and Diggs really fits well in my scheme, and he's a true number one, like Aaron, the Vikings owner, said in his article, which we'll get to in a little bit. And I mean, just using him throughout practice, he makes some crazy catches. So I'm really glad to have him. And he's under contract for 6 years. And like I said, he's a perfect fit in my scheme. And he'll develop really well. So I'm really excited to see what he can become over the next 6 years. And he ain't going nowhere. So the everyone got what they wanted. The Vikings wanted to get the speed. Y'all know how Aaron is and throwing the ball, and he got that. And then I got, three positions that are going to help us for at least for the next, I believe, at least 3 years. I think all those guys are locked in for the next 3 years. So it was a really good deal for both sides. And we had a trade sneak right in at advance. And the Eagles made two deals. So The Eagles trade, oh, this is one of those user linebacker dudes that everyone loves. They traded left outside linebacker Camu Grugier-Hill to the Cowboys. And the Cowboys traded right in Randy Gregory to the Eagles. And, I hadn't seen the Eagles say anything. So I'm surprised to see they made those moves. But he made moves with people that he knows. So, maybe, that was the motivation there. But looking at that trade, of course, the Cowboys got a linebacker that can roam the field, and the Eagles got a pretty decent pass rusher. So just looking at that, I think that's a fair deal. And then they have another deal here. The Eagles traded right in Josh Sweat to the Buccaneers, and the Buccaneers gave up a third-round pick to the Eagles. Bucks were looking for pass rushers, and they got one. I don't know much about Josh Sweat. I didn't look at his ratings before I got on the show here, but assume he's a pass rusher. That's what they were looking for. So I think he's a younger guy too. So it'll be interesting to see how that one works out. I think the Eagles got pretty good value for a DN that they really don't need with that roster. All right, so let's take a look at some stories that have been written on the Daddy Leagues homepage. Once again, keep in mind that when you write stories on Daddy Leagues, it goes toward the credit that you could get at the end of the season for your bonuses for players and so forth and so on. Please make sure you go at the rules and look at the good stuff and get the intricate details on what you can get if you write 10 articles in one season. Pretty easy, and it's actually a reward that you can control because it's a +2 attribute boost to anything except speed and strength. So, I think it's a pretty good incentive for you to write your articles, and it also comes with that a salary cap clearance at the end of the season. So, pretty good incentive, and all you gotta do is be active on the site and write some articles about your team, and then I get to have fun and talk about them right here. All right, so we see the Seahawks have written an article talking about a new Madden season has come along. And kind of breaks down his team, solid defense to build on, and his offense and the offensive line is a big hole in Seattle. And I feel for him. I'm kind of in that same boat, but not as bad after some moves that we made to get some O linemen in Carolina. Um, I was very happy that he got Jonathan Hankins, big D tackle, for his one free agent. And I looked at him; he's a pretty good player, and they're going to have to play good defense to win games, I believe. Um, Breaks down his little preseason game against the Colts. Apparently, they were up 30-0. Okay, so that's a pretty good sign for the offense there. So Seattle, I think he has some good user ability on defense and offense. I think they're gonna just have to get the ball out quick and lean on Russell Wilson to make some things happen. And in that division, it's gonna be tough with the Rams, man. I think the Rams are gonna be really the ones to come out the NFC early on. But good job to Seattle. We appreciate that article, man. All right, so let's jump to this is the Vikings article right here, and he's breaking down the trade that he made with myself. And of course, he just gives a quick summary. I won't go too long on this because I was just talking about it, but he pretty much said that he's going to spread the ball out vertical. And with Cooks, I'm sorry, in the backfield, he's really excited about his offense, which we all know how Aaron is on offense, so no surprise there. So for me, he gives a little breakdown. He says I have a young center in F line, but F line's going to stay at guard. I'll find someone to play center. I don't know after Khalil's gone. And he didn't mention the tight end, but I really like the tight end. He even got his name wrong in the article, but that's okay. And then Diggs, I think, was a really, really good get for us. And offensively, we're going to be a little different this year. I won't say anything else than that, but we're going to be a little different. So, that's going to be a good deal for both sides, like I said already. All right, let's jump to our next article. And we've got Bugatti here, the owner of the Rams. He was formerly the doo-doo Browns for many years and caused us all heartache and hell. Now, he has gone to his favorite team in real life, and that is the LA Rams. And he is excited about having Sue, Aqib Talib, Marcus Peters, and Brandon Cooks, who he says is AKA Blaze. So you already know what's going to happen there. So it's going to be tough to deal with the Rams and really that defense. Their defense is just ridiculous. And it's going to be interesting to see how people move the ball against them because, Ramon is already a good player. And with that talent, it's really going to be hard, man. I don't envy being in the NFC West going against him. All right, to our next story, we have the Tampa Bay owner who has done really good in joining the league already and been active, and we definitely appreciate it. So he kind of breaks down his team here, and I know he's an old Nebraska fan, so his coach is named Eric Crouch. I like that. I like that a lot, man. So he's got a running back situation. He signed Keith Marshall, who was formerly a Georgia speed guy, to go with rookie running back Ronald Jones. And then he goes through the trade that we talked about earlier that he made with the Browns. And then defensively, he he wants to bring a nasty black shirt style defense to Tampa. Okay. So we talked about the trade that he made with the Eagles to get that DN he was looking for. Um, so there's going to be some more changes. In the secondary because he says it's a little a little slow and small for his liking. So we'll see what continues to happen in Tampa as time goes on. Man, we're glad to have you, man. You've been great so far. All right, and our last story we're going to look at is, of course, by Cody Slim Cracker, who is the Cardinals now. And Cody is kind of gave a summary of everyone in the league, which I thought was really, really cool. And I'll just let you guys read over that. But Cody is one of our co-commissioners who has done an excellent job. He's got a baby on the way, so I know that's going to take him away from the game for, a couple or a few days or maybe even a week or so. But I know he's here for the long run, and he's always been a really good guy to contribute to the league. And he's also one of our gameplay commissions. So if you have issues, and let me just throw that in there real quick. If you have issues with gameplay, Cody, the Cardinals, and Ramon, the Rams, are our gameplay commissions. Make sure you send them a DM with the times in your stream of whatever issue happened, and then they'll look at it, and then they'll let me know, and then I'll look at it, and then I'll follow up with whoever made the complaints. Okay. But that's a real good overall article right there. Appreciate that, Cody. Now we're gonna go to the trade block. And on the block this week, we've got several guys. And we're gonna start with a number of guys from the Browns. First one is Terrence Mitchell. He is a corner, 75 overall. Definitely more of a man corner. Um, I can't remember how old he is. I think he's like 28 or something. But if you need a man corner, this would be your guy. But he sucks in zone coverage. Um, Maybe someone that if you need some more secondary depth, you might want to look at. So let's move on to Jamie Collins. This is another linebacker on the block for the Browns. 77 overall guy. Not really great in pass coverage, it seems, but you want someone to go run, hit, and tackle, he's your guy. I tell you, I used Jamie Collins last year. I got him with the Bills. He was a little older, but he played well in the middle, man. You see, he's a pretty smart guy. Um, so I would get him and move him to the middle if it was just me. But, of course, it's not just me. So do what you want to with him. Demarius Randall is our next guy on the block from the Browns, of course, free safety. No, he's like 5'11", so he might have converted him from corner. He's got some decent coverage skills. I think he could be a pretty decent slot corner also, with that skill set that he has right there. So the Browns have him as available. Let's go to our next Browns guy that's available, and that is corner TJ Carey. And TJ, I'm trying to get my screen lined up here. There we go. TJ is an 81 overall corner. I believe he's 28 years old. So you would think he's at the peak of his physical ability based on normal Madden regression. So that might be why he's on the block. But pretty good coverage skills. I think if you need a corner that can play for a couple years decently, you might want to reach out to the Browns and talk to him about Mr. TJ Carey. All right, our next guy on the block comes from yours truly, the Carolina Panthers, and that is wide receiver Devin Funchess. Devin is a 6'4" receiver, 24 years old, and he's overall, you see, he's a pretty good receiver. I have got no interest from anyone on Devin, which I think is a little surprising because of his, overall pretty good skill set. And I mean, I don't mind keeping him. But if you need a receiver that can, obviously catch the ball pretty well, run pretty good routes, just be a good. He's more of a number two guy. Even though the Panthers in real life want to make him a number one, I think he's more of a number two. But check him out, man, and let me know if you're interested, please. No, I'm just kidding. All right. I have another guy on the block, but I don't have his picture up. But that's safety Desmond Southward. I know he's a favorite for a lot of guys in the past. I hadn't had any interest in him this year, but I know his ratings aren't good. But he's a 92 speed, 92 acceleration safety, and those don't grow on trees. So if you're interested in them, hit me up. I'll be glad to talk about it. Price ain't that high. All right. We'll go to our next guy on the block. And of course, Jeff would not miss a trade block, and he's put up Malik Jackson, an 85 overall D tackle. You look at his ratings, really good power moves, good awareness, smart player. Play recognition is really high, so that's why his rating's pretty high. I know he said he was looking for a safety around the same overall rating, so if you got one of those and you want Malik Jackson, just reach out to the Jags and see if we can work something out. All right, our next guy on the block was posted by our 49ers owner, You Hayton, and that is running back Matt Breida. Of course, this is more of an elusive running back with good speed, 93 speed, 92 acceleration. I think he's a young guy. I think he was a rookie last year, so he's a second-year player. Good juke move. I can't remember what he was looking for when he posted him, but not a bad player. 77 overall. If you need some running back depth, he's a guy that can make some plays out of the backfield, and be an asset to your team. So go ahead and check him out. And our last guy on the block this week comes from a Gape who was itching to make a trade. This is cornerback Josh Hawkins. Very good speed, 93 speed, 93 acceleration, 90 agility, 94 jumping, but he's not a tall guy. He would probably fit the best in the slot for you. Even though with that good speed, acceleration, and such, you don't want a 5'11" guy on the outside necessarily, unless you absolutely have to. Agape is known as a very tough trader to deal with. Just keep that in mind. I'm just kidding. He's a really good guy. He's been here from the start. But hit him up if you're interested in Josh Hawkins at the corner position. All right, so let's go to our week 1 games. We're going to start here on this screen. We're going to work from the top to bottom. We've got the Steelers and the Browns. Knowing both of these guys, this will be a pretty good game. The Steelers last year were pretty aggressive overall on defense. I expect that same kind of style from him this year as well. The Browns, young team, a lot of talent. He's already made a couple moves like we talked about earlier. I expect this to be a good game. Chiefs Chargers. So anytime you talk about the Chargers, it's Deontay. Deontay has not been as talkative this year, so it's gonna be interesting to see how he adjusts to Madden 19. And then, of course, the Chiefs. You think about them. Of course, you always want to consider Tyreek Hill, who's been a just absolute beast on some things that I've seen. He's really tough to stop with. I think he's got 98 speed or 96 speed, 98 acceleration or something crazy like that. Just insane. So that'll be a fun game to see who can get a leg up in the AFC West. Seahawks Broncos. So we know a lot about the Seahawks owner. I've heard some things about the Broncos owner. I know the Broncos are his team. So he'll be excited to get that one kicked off. Hard to say who's going to win that one. That's one of those I have to wait and see on because I don't know the guys that well just yet. Cowboys Panthers, of course, I know Lee. Known him for a while. Good part of the league. Always welcome his feedback and input. He's got his hometown team, the Cowboys. It'll be tough because Ezekiel Elliott, I'm sure, will get the ball a lot. The Cowboys receivers are not that great right now. So we'll have to figure out a way to stop Elliott. And I'm playing the CPU with him is, I don't know. I don't know how we're going to stop him, to be honest. For us, I think we've got a pretty good front seven on defense. Our secondary has... they're young, just looking at them. We're just a young secondary, and we're going to grow. That's my plan. I don't plan on making really a lot of moves to upgrade the corner spots. I like who's there. We just have to get experience. Offensively, if Matt Khalil can hold up decently, we'll be all right. That's all I can really say. I think we have enough weapons. For Cam, McCaffrey's looked really good. The receivers, I've been through that already, so we'll see what happens, man. I think it'll be a good game. We usually play, pretty close games, so I would expect another one in this one. Redskins and the Cardinals, of course. Rag Job is a good player, really good drafter too, by the way. It's been pretty quiet. But I know he'll be around. He's always been around, and I know he's excited to get this thing kicked off. And then Cody, the Cardinals we just talked about. He usually starts out with these games pretty good, and then for some reason things kind of get worse as time goes on. But his first seasons are usually pretty good, so I'd expect him to have a good effort in this one. Packers Bears. The Bears, like I said, are out, so the Packers will get a win there. Congratulations, Agape, going 1-0. Jets and Lions, same thing for the Lions. Congrats, Xavier, you'll go 1-0. And then the Rams and the Raiders. Oh, what a start, Blake. You get to face the mighty, mighty Rams and Bugatti. It's the battle of I was going to say the battle of L.A., but the Raiders are going to Las Vegas soon, and the Rams have just got there, so that'll be a good game to watch, and hopefully Blake will... take the loss in stride. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. All right, it's 1 a.m. I'm tired. Falcons, Eagles. Eagles are a really good team, man. And this is actually a rematch of the playoff game last year, so the Falcons will have some extra incentive here to try to make up and prove that was a fluke loss up in Philly. I don't know enough about the Eagles to... handicap his chances, but I know Ben has gotten a lot better over the years. Of course, won the Super Bowl last year, so that'll be a good game. Bills and the Ravens. That's Hydrotic. Oh yeah, that's Lamar Jackson. Okay. I was told the Bills won a Super Bowl in Lee's league last year. So obviously he must be a pretty good player. And then we know Hydrotic is a pretty good player also, or Caleb. I'm sorry, I'm calling you by your username, but we know who you are. So I expect that to be a pretty good game there in week 1 between the Bills and the Ravens. Jaguars and the Giants. Battle of 2 co-commissioners. Well, actually, Jeff is my associate commissioner, my number 2. And then Kyle, the Giant, is a co-commissioner, so That will be a well played game with a lot of guys taking deep shots. They both like to do that at times. The Buccaneers and the Saints, interdivisional matchup in Week 1. We got Will from the Bucks and then Reggie from the Saints. It'll be interesting to see who's going to pull that out. Um, of course, the Saints have some good weapons on offense with Drew Brees still around, and then the Bucks making their moves. So that'll be a good game. Really good to see how those guys are going to play as the season goes on. Congratulations, Texans. Levi, you'll go to 1-0 because the Patriots are still out of town and they will not have joined yet. 49ers taking on the Vikings. So that's you hating Eric going against Aaron. And Eric got a lot better toward the end of the year and made the playoffs. And he's stuck with it, man. And I appreciate you, man. You taking your share of losses, but you've gotten better. And, I expect you to make some noise with a pretty good team. And, of course, Aaron, we just talked about the trade he made. He's going to spread the field, throw the ball, and, try to have some fun and put up some points. So that'll be an entertaining game to watch. Titans and the Dolphins. That's Scooby going against Towns 9. I don't know anything about Mr. Towns. I'm sorry. If y'all can tell me, please let me know. But Scooby is a pretty good player last year. He had a curse in the playoffs. He just couldn't get to the Super Bowl. But he's plays really well in the regular season, so I wouldn't expect anything less from him in that game right there. And then our final game we're going to look at is the Bengals and the Colts. So the Bengals are an owner that were here before as a friend of Ben. I'm sorry I forgot your name. I know his name is Mater Saban on his PSN. And we're glad to have you in the Colts. The Colts was a new recruit that came in through PSN. So we're glad to see how he's going to play. And welcome to the league to you as well, sir. We're glad to have you. And the Colts do have some offensive weapons, of course, with Andrew Luck and T.Y. Hilton, and then that really good offensive lineman, too. Expect him to run behind him a good back. I think Nelson is his name. So, all right, guys. So that is PEL Live, pre-recorded this week because I've got a lot to do tomorrow and the next couple days. So, thank you for watching. We appreciate it. And good luck to everybody in Week 1. And once again, this is the PEL Primetime Elite League. We're glad to have you, man. One of the best leagues around, and you guys help make it one of the best. Appreciate it. Thanks.